no doubt. The reputation of two great old clubs was scarred by those moments of madness at Old Trafford last month, the loutish behaviour of some of the players unworthy of the shirts they wore. Even so, and partly perhaps because of it, it's close to a full house at Highbury tonight, all tickets, on a night when the air will certainly crackle with competition, but when decent sporting behaviour must also be evident, as I think it will be. And so for once, we feature first the referee, the most senior official on the list in terms of age, 51-year-old John Martin of Alton in Hampshire. A steady, firm hand required from him tonight. The teams then, Arsenal field the side that won with a late burst at Queen's Park Rangers on Saturday. A defence with 7 clean sheets in the last 9, and an attack that is now firing well. Smith with 5, 3 in the last 2 games. Merson with 6, Limpar the Swede, top scorer with 8. Certainly pressure on Tony Adams in a week when he finds himself reported to the FA for a gesture he made to the QPR crowd after an Arsenal goal on Saturday. But I fancy he can handle that. Manchester United so disappointed with the defeat by Chelsea live on ITV on Sunday. After a run of 7 games unbeaten, they make a surprise change. Neil Webb is dropped to substitute for the first time. The number 7 shirt going to Lee Sharp. Sharp presumably down the left, and it could mean another switch to the right for Danny Wallace. So Neil Webb loses his place, sits on the bench with Mal Donaghy. 2 big clubs then looking for a place in the quarter-finals. And in box 34 here at Highbury, officials of the league, of Rumbelows and guest Bobby Moore, they are meeting. It's here that the draw will be made later on, and you, of course, will see it for yourselves. And away we go. A night when football really must be the winner. Manchester United in the change strip of blue, attacking the goal to our left. Up to Danny Wallace, on towards Hughes, and Seaman quickly there. Arsenal unbeaten this season in 17 games, the best start the Gunners have had in 43 years. It's a throw then to Manchester United. Clayton Blackmore with it to Paul Ince. Hit high again towards Hughes. Knocked down nicely there for Sharp. Wallace. A foul there by Davis. And John Martin very quickly on the scene there. A free kick then to Manchester United. Tremendous amount at stake for both these clubs, particularly for Manchester United. Their chances of a league championship slipping away. Blackmore's shot hits with great venom. Terrific shot, and Manchester United go into the lead inside 2 minutes. Just a little touch of a free kick to him, and he drove it so beautifully just inside David Seaman's post. United in the lead, and a really dramatic start then to the big night here at Highbury. And back to Seaman. Dixon. A lot of pace about this early game. The pitch in terrific condition as well. Here's Smith. Stopped by Pallister. Sharp. United's free kick, back with Les Seedy. They allowed that to go a long way as Hughes and Wallace were homing in on David Seaman. Certainly a white-hot atmosphere out on the pitch. Up goes Bruce. Knocked on by Sharp towards Hughes. Sharp going on, an excellent advantage played there by the referee. Sharp with Wallace in there. Adams choosing his moment well, but still Sharp did well. And Seaman dived for that one and needed to because Wallace was just behind him. Terrific work there by Lee Sharp. And now Perry Groves at the other end for Arsenal. Bruce trying to get in there. Groves going on. A terrific bit of goalkeeping that time by Seeley. Well, this is a cup tie that really is living up to its billing. Great burst at both ends. This was the break that put Perry Groves in. Bruce couldn't quite hold him, but Seeley did very well indeed. Davis with the corner for Arsenal, floated in again towards Bold. Callister got above him. Dixon will return it now. No, plays it wide for Davis. And the referee spotting an infringement. The linesman also inside that Manchester United penalty area. There was a bit of shoving inside the box there. But Seeley certainly reacted superbly when Perry Groves was through. And it's a kick. McClare, hustled by Winterburn. This is Phelan. Wallace in the middle, and he couldn't quite reach Hughes with that one as Arsenal bring it away now with Paul Davis. A lovely ball now for Dixon. Thomas has made a tremendous surging run through the middle, so has Groves. And Merson's in there too, and Arsenal just couldn't find the right person there to finish it off. But what a great move that was. From one end of the field, from one side of the field to the other. Ending up here with Dixon's ball in, and it looked as though any one of 3 or 4 might have had a go at that. In the end, it went into the side netting. Arsenal's corner. Touch on by Smith, but over the top, goal kick. Steve Bold, not amongst the goal scorers for some time. In fact, his last goal was in the season before last. But always a threat at that near post with a flick on. Seeley with the kick. Limpar. Stopped by Ince. A combination of Ince and Hughes. Blackmore playing it forward. Wallace again, looking really lively. Danny Wallace. And then just pulled it wide. But Wallace is beginning to show the Southampton form that attracted Alec Ferguson in the first place. Bought him very expensively from the South Coast club. Took some time to settle in at Old Trafford, but it looks as though Danny Wallace is really beginning to motor for United. Here's Smith again. Cut out well by Pallister. Touch there. McClare from Hughes' touch, and now to Sharp onto the left foot. Good save by Seaman, and McClare puts it over. United had a real chance there. Wasn't quite the conviction that was required really about Lee Sharp's shot, and although it was a good save by Seaman, you had the feeling that something might have been taken after that. It was a lovely move. McClare's ball through to Lee Sharp onto the left foot, not with really quite the power enough to worry Seaman that much, and in the end McClare puts it over. Groves. United's throw, or rather Arsenal's throw, which Perry Groves will take. It was slipped by Owen. And Owen back at him. But concedes the free kick. Foul there by the fullback on Alan Smith. And a free kick to Arsenal in a could be a dangerous situation on that far side. Davis. Thomas. Oh, he sidestepped the challenge of Sharp well there. He's gone past another one as well. A little touch. Thomas still going through there, looking to finish it off. Well, that was a great bit of play there by Michael Thomas. Goes past one. And the little touch, and he almost got in there as well, Thomas, to finish it off. Ince. Leclerc. Hughes has gone off on a run. Interbird holding up Leclerc very well there. Wallace on the far side keeps it in play very well, and a good ball played in there for Irwin. Now for towards the Sharp, and it's Dixon who puts it over for the corner. Lee Sharp in. Blackmore. Getting it to Sharp. Into Wallace. Oh, now for Hughes! Another one! Mark Hughes, number 2. And what a brilliant move that was by United. Played in by Sharp. Wallace, a lovely ball by him. Thank you very much, says Hughes, stretching out and planting it wide of the goalkeeper. Dixon knocking it forward. Limpar. Stopped by Pallister. Ince. Limpar. Limpar's throw. Tried to get Smith away. Bruce was there for Manchester United. Bowl. Davis. Thomas. Perry Groves. Hughes. Offside this time. Dixon. So a foul on Limpar? It wasn't. Referee allowed the game to go on. It's with Danny Wallace. That was a lovely ball by Wallace into the path of Mark Hughes, and here he is now tormenting Steve Bold. 3 men in fact came across to have a go at Wallace there, but it's still with Manchester United and Lee Sharp onto the right foot. It's another one! 3-0! A fantastic goal by Lee Sharp. And the United bench are on their feet. And the United fans as well just can't believe it. That was a magnificent goal by Sharp. Looked up, saw the possibilities, deliberately curled it wide of David Seaman. And there's that neck billowing again with the 3rd Manchester United goal. A superb strike by Lee Sharp. A deliberate curler and absolutely inch perfect. Bruce stopping Merson. It's a monumental task now for Arsenal. And the night began to go badly for them right at the start with that goal by Clayton Blackmore from the free kick. And then Mark Hughes and that lovely ball played in by Danny Wallace. And then a wonderful individual effort there by Lee Sharp to make the 3rd. It's a big, big job for Arsenal in the second half. United are coasting it at the moment. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester United 3. A stunning first half performance then by Manchester United that will have people talking for quite a while and leaves Arsenal with an enormous job in the second. The last time Arsenal in fact conceded 3 goals in this competition last season when they went out to Oldham Athletic. No substitutions on either side. Well, I imagine Kevin Campbell, an Arsenal striker, with a good goal touch, might well be needed before this night is out. Up goes Adams. And Merson gets it back to goalkeeper David Seaman. Oh, it will have been a fly on the Arsenal dressing room wall. Adams. Thomas. Oh, that'll be cut out by McClare. Versus Winterburn, it's an Arsenal throw. So McClare's had an excellent first half for Manchester United. Winterburn with the throw. An unintentional trip, it seemed, there by Pallister. A free kick given to Arsenal. On Perry Groves. Haven't quite seen the magic of Anders Limpar yet tonight. But maybe that's waiting for us in the second half. There's his free kick, up goes Pallister. In goes Bowl. And Thomas! Terrific save! Smith! And Arsenal get the encouragement of that early goal. Alan Smith. After Seeley had made a terrific save from Michael Thomas's shot. Limpar's free kick. Pallister not really getting any distance with that header. And it falls in the end for Michael Thomas. Good work by Seeley. And Smith then rounding up that loose ball and giving Arsenal that goal they so badly needed. Won by Thomas. A lovely ball played by Smith. Limpar into the path of Groves. Just held up there by Pallister, and the back pass by Bruce prevented from going for the corner by their Seeley. Bruce is injured. And Seeley knocks it into touch. United still leading by 3-1. Smith's header. Bruce gets it away. Look at the space for Wallace. And Hughes is in there. Arsenal could be facing problems here. Into Mark Hughes. Good work by Seaman. And he just gets there as Sharp came in. But a great break by United. A lovely ball played in by Danny Wallace. And Seaman got there just before Hughes. Thomas. And an offside flag is up. It was a great break by Manchester United. Look at the space there for Danny Wallace. And he flicks it in there with the outside of the boot. And Seaman just gathered it. You can see the frustration for Mark Hughes, and Seaman just getting there before Lee's shot. Winterburn. Two United men going for that, both Phelan and Bruce. And Phelan rounding on Steve Bruce there, maybe for not giving him a shout. Thomas. Oh, good play there by Merson. Paul Merson, terrific shot. Almost took Seeley off his feet. But it was the skill that led to that opening that was so exceptional there by Paul Merson. And hit with such power. This is the moment there when he outwits Clayton Blackmore and then drives that one in there, which almost took Seeley off his feet. United still leading 3-1. Limpar. Dixon. Oh, almost got his way through there. Now McClare to Wallace. Sharp's gone off on a run. Hughes is up there too. Wallace might take some holding also. Really attacking this defence, and then in the end, a rather limp shot. Smith. Thomas. Offside against Groves. He was. The Arsenal fans, no point in complaining about that. Winterburn. Stopped by Seeley. A good foraging run there by the fullback, who hasn't scored for a couple of seasons, Nigel Winterburn. Suddenly getting into a really good, strong position here. And then Seeley down well. And it's a real crackling atmosphere, which I hope you're enjoying at home. Dixon. Thomas lets it go through. Can Adams get there first? No. Now the break is on for Hughes. Arsenal might be caught now as Hughes goes on. and is saved by Seaman. But that's the risk Arsenal presumably have got to take now. But United might well catch them on the counter-attack. Davis, bit of space here for him. But Ince is in there. Davis retains it. Limpar, the little ball now to Thomas. Driven again, just over. So a moment after, Hughes is right through at the other end. This at the Manchester United end of it, as Thomas's shot goes over that crossbar. Seeley with the kick. Halfway through the second half. Dixon. Here's Smith. Oh, and he's got Groves away now. Limpar waiting in the middle, and it'll be a corner. Paul Davis in the corner. Deafening noise here at Highbury now as Arsenal come looking for that second goal. Adams, was it over the line? Smith! Well, whether Tony Adams' header across the line first is open to doubt. What is sure is that Alan Smith finished it off. And Arsenal are right back in the game. There's the header by Adams. No, it needed Smith's touch. A good jump by the Arsenal captain. And look at the space right in that 6-yard area that Merson was allowed. And United will be kicking themselves for letting that silly goal go away. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. And still almost 20 minutes to go. Blackmore with a throw for United to Sharp. Now Blackmore. Merson. Davis. Thomas is up ahead of him. Strong running player from the midfield. Smith is in there too. Stopped by Seeley. A terrific break again by Arsenal. And the United keeper dropped on that just in time. Great run by Michael Thomas. Onto the left foot, and then Seeley saves. Arsenal about to make a substitution. Kevin Campbell's coming on, and Anders Limpar's going off. So Campbell will be up front now with Alan Smith, and Steve Bruce is going off for Manchester United, and Maldonado is coming on. Ince. Can't hear yourself think, let alone speak here at the moment. Ince and now Donachie calmly back to goalkeeper Seeley. Place in the quarter-finals of the Rumbelows League Cup at stake, remember. United leading by 3-2. Leclerc to Irwin. Oh, some space here now for Hughes. No foul. Hughes finding Irwin. The cross is a good one. And it's a splendid goal there by Lee Sharp again. A finely worked goal by Manchester United. And that might just kill off Arsenal's comeback. The cross in by Irwin was a beauty, superbly met by Lee Sharp, his second goal of the game, and each of them of the highest quality. There's Irwin's cross, a flying header by Lee Sharp. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 4. Davis. Seeley again taking no chances. From the second tier of the stand here, the throw to Arsenal. Nigel Winterburn with it. There. Hughes to Wallace. There's a lovely chance now for Sharp on a hat-trick, and he's got it! 5 for United, 3 to Lee Sharp. And it's all over now, the big smile of that Man United player. Lee Sharp, the 19-year-old, with a magic touch tonight. Danny Wallace, who's, I must say, he's had a hand in about 2 or 3 of the goals for Manchester United. And Sharp with a wicked finish there. It may have just come off Seaman and billowed again into the corner of there. A delightful touch by Wallace. A striking finish again by Lee Sharp. The 5th for Manchester United, leading by 5 goals to 2. I was saying at half-time that the last time Arsenal had conceded 3 was last season against Oldham. I think you'd need to thumb through quite a number of record books to find when they last conceded 5. Campbell. Merson. Great shot, a lovely save by Seeley. Merson really dug at that one. From Campbell's ball, there's Merson's shot, and a flying save by Les Seeley. A corner to Arsenal. Pallister up above them all. Sharp. Oh, there's a little touch. McLeod. To Hughes. Wallace waiting in the middle. McLeod's in there too. And it's another one. Wallace. It's 6. The sky has fallen in on Arsenal tonight as Danny Wallace makes it goal number 6. McLeod's run. The ball played in by Hughes. Arsenal at 6s and 7s. It came off Seaman and finished off by Danny Wallace. But it's been a spectacular night of cup-tie football as the final whistle goes. A night when truly football was the winner in the most spectacular terms, and Manchester United also in the most spectacular terms, thanks to those 3 goals. The hat-trick man there, 19-year-old Lee Sharp. 2 fine shots and a header. And Clayton Blackmore and Mark Hughes, the other scorers for Manchester United, with Danny Wallace weighing in one right at the end, and Alan Smith with the 2 for Arsenal. A great night of cup-tie football, played in the best possible spirit. Arsenal's unbeaten record is shattered, and it's Manchester United who go into the quarter-finals of the Rumbelows Cup. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 6.
The ball as a result of your first hat-trick for Manchester United.
Yeah, it's this will go in the cabinet with some of my other trophies. Yeah, it's going to stay there.
What a fabulous night for you and for the club generally.
Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult tie, and to score 6 goals here, it's magnificent.
And your first hat-trick, as we say, for Man United, your first goal was quite stunning. We can have a look at that one again, actually, Lee, where you draw it onto your right foot. And you were always looking, actually, to curl it, weren't you?
Just got there in front of Lee Dixon, and I just had a look just about there. And I just swung the right foot, and it went in.
Now, all the way, you hope, eh?
Well, I hope so, yeah.
Lee, thanks a lot, and well done.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Not a total surprise that it was Arsenal's heaviest defeat in the League Cup. In fact, it was their heaviest home defeat for 70 years.
Blackmore's shot hits with great venom. Terrific shot. And Manchester United go into the lead. Inside 2 minutes. Blackmore. Getting it to Sharp. Into Wallace. Oh, now for Hughes, another one. Mark Hughes, number 2. Three men, in fact, came across to have a go at Wallace there. But it's still with Manchester United and Lee Sharp onto the right foot. It's another one! 3-0! A fantastic goal by Lee Sharp. Up goes Pallister. In goes Bold. And Thomas! Terrific save. Smith! And Arsenal get the encouragement of that early goal. Alan Smith. Deafening noise here at Highbury now as Arsenal come looking for that second goal. Adams, was it over the line? Smith. Leclerc to Irwin. Oh, some space here now for Hughes. No foul. Hughes finding Irwin. The cross is a good one. And it's a splendid goal there by Lee Sharp again. Hughes to Wallace. There's a lovely chance now for Sharp on a hat-trick. And he's got it! 5 for United, 3 to Lee Sharp. To Hughes. Wallace waiting in the middle. Leclerc's in there too. And it's another one, Wallace. It's 6.
Up in Scotland. Now, for Arsenal's Swedish international Anders Limpar, Wednesday night was his first taste of defeat in Arsenal colours. Clive Tilsley went to meet him.
Anders Limpar saw how the other half live on Wednesday night. His first bitter taste of defeat in an Arsenal shirt turned out to be a real mouthful. Soundly beaten and substituted into the bargain. Not an experience he'll forget in a hurry.
We all felt like we are human, not robots. We can lose as well as Liverpool can lose, so I think it was good for us.
What were your human feelings after the game?
Of course it was bad, because I feel sorry for our fans. They expected a lot from us to win this game, but we made a major fault. 6 goals is bad.
United put the first blot on a marvellous Limpar record. He scored 8 times in his first 3 months and made as many goals for his new Arsenal colleagues. The Arsenal manager mentions his ability and effectiveness in the same breath as John Barnes.
Maybe a little bit similar to Barnes, somebody like Barnes at Liverpool, where in the last third of the pitch, he just wants to take defenders on and get shots or crosses in. But he's finishing and his shooting power has actually surprised me. He's got a tremendous shot for such a small guy. And as I said, he's got great awareness, and he scored a lot more goals than what even I thought.
Can he give you as much as John Barnes has given Liverpool?
I don't know. Up to now, he's the leading goal scorer. He told me when he first came that he doesn't normally score a lot of goals, and I told him I would soon change that.
Your goals, are they a surprise to you?
Yeah, because I've made 7 goals in the whole season in Switzerland, and 8 so far. So I hope I can make a little bit more.
Is this your best ever goal-scoring run?
Yeah, that's true.
As Limpar prepares to play his part in tomorrow's televised drama at Highbury, the irony is that he could have been lining up against Arsenal. 3 years ago, Liverpool had him on trial at Anfield.
Yeah, I was there 1 week, because Liverpool, it was 87. I spoke to Kenny Dalglish, and they wanted that I trained 1 week with them, and I did. It was a very good experience.
What did Liverpool say to you at the end of the week?
Mr. Dalglish, he wanted that I should come back and play a match in the B team or something against the A team. But I think the Swedish club wanted too much money for me.
The £1 million that George Graham paid for Limpar in the summer is looking money well spent, although the Arsenal manager still wants even better value for his money.
He stays out of the game for long periods. I would like him to get a bit more involved. When you've got a player of outstanding ability, you want that player to participate in the game possibly for 60, 70, 80 minutes. Just now he's coming in flashes, but when he does come in the game in flashes, he's winning games for us.
So the message is he can get better.
Oh, without question, and I'm sure Anders will even agree to that. But he's actually delighted. I think he loves English football, as most of the Scandinavians do. They love the passion about it. And he's a big favourite among the players. I mean, they've really taken to him. And I think he loves the camaraderie here of the English game, and especially at Arsenal.
Well, goodbye.
He has been
goodbye.
Goodbye. 8 goals this season for Anders Limpar.
Yeah.
We've got a couple coming up. The one at Manchester United, rather controversial, this one, Jim. I don't know if you would say this was out.
He was happy with it, Limpar, wasn't he? But
Yes.
I don't know. You had to be on the spot to know whether that was there or not.
But the one thing I have
He's
noticed
fitted in
about him, Jim,
well.
I've been very impressed since I first saw him at the start of the season. He can go down either flank, and he is a two-footed player, and the goals he scores are with either foot, which is terrific. I mean, this one, he dragged across and then hit it. A real smacker with his left foot.
He's fitted in very well. I would think George would be more than happy with £1 million for him. You know.
Well, tomorrow's game, I would think, because of what happened on Wednesday night, I think George Graham will say, well, we mustn't lose this one. We must at least get a draw out of it.
I tend to think that, as I said earlier, that they treat it as a freak result. Masters of the Liverpool, they are the masters of the important games. So they're not going to give anything away, we know that. It's what way Arsenal play that's going to be important.
Well, I think Big George will play it very tight, Jim. I know you're working on the game.
Yes,
I don't think you'll see many goals.
Well, who knows? As Maggie Thatcher said in Downing Street, it's a funny old game, Sam.
I wonder who she copies in now. Well, that's it.
Cutting the Merseyside team's lead at the top of the First Division to 3 points.
It was always going to be a key game of the season. Arsenal knew they had to win if Liverpool weren't to be clear at the top of the table by Christmas. Both managers' faces showed the early tension, but it was George Graham's side that made the vital strike after 20 minutes. Desperate Liverpool defence finally breached by Merson. The replay showed it was just over the line. The champions had 3 chances before half-time to level it. Burrows here, but each time Seaman was rock solid. In the second half, the crucial second, Limpar was tripped by Gillespie, at least the referee thought so. And Dixon wasn't going to make any mistake in a game as important as this. Liverpool brought on 2 subs, Rosenthal one of them, but even he was foiled by Seaman. If there were doubts about the first 2 goals, there were none about the third. Merson's brilliant back heel, setting up Smith. The championship race is wide open again. Giles Smith, ITN Sport, Highbury.
Thomas again. And Grobbelaar saves. Merson can't get there. Did he go across the line? Yes. Arsenal have scored. Merson got that final touch. And that will change the whole game now. Bobbing about there, and Grobbelaar had made one good save. Into Smith. That might fall for Merson. It might fall for Limpar. Down he goes. That's a penalty. And my first look at it, there wasn't much doubt about it.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Brian. Don't think there was any doubt at all.
Lee Dixon. It's 2-0. Merson. Oh, what a lovely back heel. Smith with a shot. A fantastic goal. 3-0.
Magnificent piece of soccer. What a marvellous back heel that was by Paul Merson. And a great strike. Oh, what a super goal.
His 6th goal in 4 games. And Arsenal have put to rest all the nightmares of Wednesday night now. The corner. Thomas again. And Grobbelaar saves. Merson can't get there. Did he go across the line? Yes. Arsenal have scored. Merson got that final touch. Into Smith. That might fall for Merson. It might fall for Limpar. Down he goes. That's a penalty. Lee Dixon. It's 2-0. Merson. Oh, what a lovely back heel. Smith with a shot. A fantastic goal. 3-0.
Yes.
And a fair result, Jim. You were working on the game. I thought, watching on telly, it was a fair result. Arsenal played better than Liverpool.
Arsenal played exceptionally well. They made Liverpool, on the day, look an ordinary side.
Now, after the match, seemingly Glenn Hussein had been having a bit of a go at his teammate, Swedish teammate, Limpar, for the diving, but rather controversial. But George Graham, funnily enough, before the game, had been voicing his concern, Jimmy, you know, that Limpar was going to ground rather early.
Probably his first few games, he was probably going over pretty dramatic fashion. But we've been chatting to him and saying he's got to stay on his feet as much as possible. I don't like other players getting booked for dramatics on the pitch. So Anders is having to cope with that, and I think he's learning quite well.
Well, here are the two incidents, Jim. This one for the penalty that was given.
He was clear through. I don't know, you can't blame the referee for not giving a penalty there. He had to give a penalty. It's very difficult to say whether there was contact there, Ian, but I felt it was a penalty at the time. And here's one we didn't think was a penalty, but the slow motion replay actually shows that he did get his feet clipped there, although he did do a bit of a dive afterwards, the roll, but the referee was looking out for him that particular time, because I think the Liverpool players had already had a go over the penalty, and he didn't get away with that one. In fairness to Limpar, he didn't try. He picked himself up and went on, but it does show, actually, that he did get clipped there.
Well, in the future, Jim, it may be now that referees, there may be a backlash for Limpar where he goes through in a genuine touch and people go, oh, he's doing the old diving, a la Franny Lee in our day.
Well, there's been a lot of players do it. I mean, even Big Bobby Smith, who's 17 stone, used to go down. The ref thought, well, he's got to be fouled if he goes down. So, you know, referees have got to be on the lookout for it, obviously. I'm sure they have.
Paul Davis's corner, his 7th goal in 5 games, gave Arsenal the lead in the final minute of what has been a rather patchy first half. A mixture of neat, thoughtful interpassing at times, then periods of sterile midfield play. Luton, in fact, have had marginally the better of things, with Steve Williams prompting well from midfield against his former club, Kingsley Black doing some clever things on the right, and the Dane Lars Elstrup looking sharp up front. Elstrup, in fact, had the best Luton opportunity in the first half when he intercepted Alan Smith's wayward back pass. He tried to set it up with a cross in front of goal, but it went astray. Half-time, Luton 0, Arsenal 1.
Paul Davis with it. And a goal is scored by Alan Smith as Arsenal go into the lead right on the stroke of half-time. Dixon, against all the odds, did well there, surrounded by 3. But here are Luton continuing to make the running here in this second half. Gets it through to Ian Dowie. Brought down by Tony Adams, and a penalty given. Well, John Dreyer normally takes the Luton penalties. Dowie going in there. Arsenal contesting the points. Tony Adams clashing with Ian Dowie. Downey went into the box. The referee having no hesitation in pointing to the spot. And a red card! The Arsenal captain sent off. That's a sensational development now at Kenilworth Road. Can only be for dissent, for arguing with referee Philip Don, as Tony Adams, consoled there by Perry Groves, goes off. And now Arsenal back on their haunches because they could be pulled back to 1-1 as Dreyer lines up to take this penalty for Luton Town. Scores, and it's 1-1.
Well, Arsenal remain unbeaten, 1-1 the score. That means they're now 2 points behind Liverpool in second place in the First Division. Liverpool, of course, have a game in hand as their game at Nottingham Forest was called off this afternoon because of the weather.
Road's artificial surface has always provided Arsenal with problems, and they still haven't won here in 5 visits. Leading through Alan Smith's header from Paul Davis's corner just before half-time. That was Smith's 7th in 5 games. Arsenal were shaken completely out of their stride in the second half when their captain Tony Adams was sent off for a professional foul on Ian Dowie as the Luton striker went charging into the Arsenal area onto substitute Greg Farrell's clever pass. Adams trudged off, and from the penalty awarded for the incident, Luton's captain John Dreyer coolly equalised. Dowie also thumped a header against the Arsenal bar, so in the end they were probably happy with a point. Luton 1, Arsenal 1.
Paul Davis with it. And a goal is scored by Alan Smith as Arsenal go into the lead right on the stroke of half-time. But here Luton continuing to make the running here in the second half, gets it through to Ian Dowie, brought down by Tony Adams, and a penalty given. Well, John Dreyer normally takes the Luton penalties. Dowie going in there, Arsenal contesting the points, Tony Adams clashing with Ian Dowie. Downey went into the box, the referee having no hesitation in pointing to the spot. And a red card! The Arsenal captain sent off. That's a sensational development now at Kenilworth Road. Can only be for dissent, for arguing with referee Philip Don. But now Arsenal back on their haunches because they could be pulled back to 1-1 as Dreyer lines up to take this penalty for Luton Town. Scores, and it's 1-1.
But once again, there were disciplinary problems for the Gunners.
Paul Davis with it. And a goal is scored by Alan Smith as Arsenal go into the lead right on the stroke of half-time. But here Luton continuing to make the running here in this second half, gets it through to Ian Dowie, brought down by Tony Adams, and a penalty given. And a red card! The Arsenal captain sent off. That's a sensational development now at Kenilworth Road. Dreyer lines up to take this penalty for Luton Town. Scores, and it's 1-1.
Back to the old subject, Jim, of should he have gone off, should he not have gone off. I mean, you know, we look at that and we think, well, there didn't appear to be an awful lot in it when Ian Dowie was going through and Adams fouled him. Now, but we had made this point, like at the beginning of the season, didn't we? We said that now, if a foul is outside the area, people were getting sent off. It's inside the area. They were given penalty kicks, but not sending them off. Now, this was just inside the area there. That's more a push than anything, obviously. But the referee's interpretation was that he was going through in goal with only goalkeeper to beat, and so he has to go off.
It's a question of interpretation, isn't it? What is a professional foul? And I don't see that as ever being a professional foul. It was clumsy that he bundled him over. But I can't see that being a deliberate professional foul. And I can't see how Tony Adams should have been sent off for that. I really don't. Well, I know it's difficult, but surely referees have got to use their discretion. And I don't think anybody would have expected, other than the referee, that he would have gone off.
Well, Mr. P. Don, who was a referee, decided that...
Well, in our opinion, Mr. Tony Adams, you were certainly peed on.
Well, today, Arsenal's 16-match unbeaten run will be tested at Highbury by a Wimbledon side that are right in form and are confounding the critics once again.
Well, I noticed you didn't put Arsenal down for an home win. That's for sure.
Well, they're playing well, Wimbledon.
Cool.
They're playing well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And Fash would always be at my side because apart from his skill, I mean, he upsets other defenders, and I think that's great. Yeah. Wouldn't back against him.
Right. Well, with Liverpool out of action last weekend, the opportunity was there for the chasing pack to close the gap.
Well, for half an hour, Bob, we wondered if the visit of Wimbledon could be the occasion to upset Arsenal's unbeaten record. Wimbledon, without the huff and the puff these days, had played equally as tidily as Arsenal had. But then the Gunners scored twice in the space of 4 minutes. Wimbledon number 5, Dean Blackwell, missed a simple ball down the middle, and Paul Merson joyfully cracked in number 1. Moments later, Tony Adams made yards across the penalty area to meet a deep corner and score with a powerful header. With almost an hour of the competition left, it seemed that it was all over. But right on the stroke of half-time, Kuznetsky, the Pole, was unchallenged inside Arsenal's 6-yard box to pull one back, and they might yet upset the Gunners. 2-1 half-time.
We focus on two of the game's central characters, Tony Adams and John Fashanu, who was to have the last laugh. Paul Merson shooting Arsenal in front after 32 minutes. 4 minutes after that, Paul Davies's corner thundered in by Adams to give them a 2-goal cushion, one short of their 3-0 win at Plough Lane on the opening day. But Wimbledon are a different proposition these days. Detsy Krasinski heading in John Scales' cross just before the break. We move on into injury time and time to cut out the newly acquired frills. Fashionu's physical presence brought a hasty reaction from Seaman, and the big fella's 5th goal in 3 games, leaving Arsenal 4 behind Liverpool. Focus on 2 of the game's central characters, Tony Adams and John Fashanu, who was to have the last laugh. Paul Merson shooting Arsenal in front after 32 minutes. 4 minutes after that, Paul Davies's corner thundered in by Adams to give them a 2-goal cushion, one short of their 3-0 win at Plough Lane on the opening day. But Wimbledon are a different proposition these days. Detsy Krasinski heading in John Scales' cross just before the break. We move on into injury time and time to cut out the newly acquired frills. Fashionu's physical presence brought a hasty reaction from Seaman, and the big fella's 5th goal in 3 games, leaving Arsenal 4 behind.
Driving. Gorbachev threatens direct rule. One of Britain's leading footballers has been jailed for drink driving. Arsenal captain and England defender Tony Adams was sentenced to 9 months, 5 of them suspended. Adams was already serving a 3-match ban after being sent off during a game against Luton 10 days ago.
Footballer Tony Adams, arriving at court this morning, seems likely to miss the rest of the season because of his reckless and drunken driving. After a barbecue in Essex last May, he lost control of his car and tests showed he was 3 times over the drink-drive limit. Despite character references from players such as Pat Jennings, the judge jailed Adams until April. Arsenal manager George Graham described Adams as a colossus of the club and hinted at an appeal.
Everybody could see there the friends he had in court, so speaking on his behalf. But I think an appeal. We can speak to his lawyers about that. That's all I want to say at the present time, OK?
At Highbury, home of Arsenal, fans' reaction was predictable.
Really, like, for the team, because he holds the team together, doesn't he?
Tony Adams has gone in there, he hasn't killed anyone. The least he should have got was a fine. But this is terrible for Arsenal.
It's not been a good month for Adams and by implication his club. He was already facing disciplinary action for making a V sign to jeering fans. And earlier this month he was sent off for the first time in his career for a professional foul and was already about to start a 3-match ban. Arsenal has suggested Adams' club future is secure, but there are bound to be doubts about his role in an England...
Months after a court heard how he took to the road when he was 3 times over the drink-drive limit. His car snaked out of control for 130 metres down a residential street at Rayleigh in Essex. It tore down power cables, leaving homes without electricity. In a moment, we'll be asking what his sporting future holds. But first, Githa Hutton has this report from Southend Crown Court.
Tony Adams arrived at Southend Crown Court this morning to face charges of reckless driving and excess alcohol, to which he pleaded guilty. The court heard how Adams' Sierra car had spun out of control for 130 metres along a residential street in Rayleigh before crashing into a telegraph pole and finally this garden wall. He was said to have been travelling at speeds of up to 73 miles an hour.
We heard a strange roaring sound out here, and as I looked up, this pole behind you there was swaying, the wires were all waving about, and we looked across the road and there was the car in the garden across opposite.
In court, his defence lawyer said that Adams was of good character and had no previous convictions. But despite the mitigation, the judge sentenced Adams to 9 months in prison, suspended for 5 months after hearing that the accused was 3 times over the drink-drive limit.
Adams looked pale and drawn when the 4-month prison sentence was imposed upon him here. The judge, Frank Lockhart, said there was no practical alternative to prison, as this was a serious example of reckless driving.
In court to support Adams were former Arsenal goalkeeper Pat Jennings and manager George Graham. Outside court, he said that there's the likelihood of an appeal.
I think an appeal is being considered. Tony Adams has been a colossus for Arsenal in the past, and he'll be a colossus for Arsenal in the future.
His parents were deeply shocked by the prison sentence.
Devastated, absolutely devastated. The man's character don't deserve. Law's the law, but...
Adams will now have to spend Christmas behind bars, but his parents, close friends and supporters hope he won't have to serve the whole of his 4-month term. This is Githa Hutton at Southend Crown Court for Thames News.
hinted to you about the team.
Today's news is a stunning blow for Tony Adams. George Graham made him Arsenal captain at the age of 21, and when England honours followed and he skippered the Gunners to the League Championship in 1989, his rise was complete. But 1990 has been a disaster for the likeable bachelor who still lives with his parents at Rainham in Essex. Following his car crash in May, he was axed from England's World Cup squad for Italy. Then in October, Arsenal had that pitch brawl with Manchester United. Adams acted peacemaker, but the club would dock points and heavily fined. In November, Adams, who's been a fine ambassador for Arsenal, visiting schools and getting involved in charitable work, was reported by Queen's Park Rangers fans for making a V sign. The police have said if the FA don't take action, they will. And then, 9 days ago, he was headline news again for being sent off at Luton. Because of Arsenal's demands for good behaviour, there's already speculation that Adams will be sacked and that his England career is finished. But tonight, Ken Fryer, the club secretary, said Arsenal will stand by him. The club already fined Adams £2,000 for the car crash and believe he's been punished a second time at the Crown Court. But former Arsenal manager Terry Neal says he's little sympathy for Adams.
I'm afraid I can have no sympathy whatsoever. There is no defence for it whatsoever. The authorities have made it clear, not only at Christmas time, but throughout the year, that this is something they're going to clamp down on. And I, for one, with daughters now of driving age, this is the sort of thing that I worry about every night. Even if we talk about the so-called pressures, a professional footballer or a top athlete these days, they are really, to be perfectly honest, nothing compared to the guy in the street.
Tonight, Arsenal captain Tony Adams will spend his first night behind bars. Graham Miller for Thames News.
To 4 months imprisonment for drink driving offences. Adams, who's played 18 times for England and is Arsenal's captain, was charged after a car crash at Rayleigh in Essex last May.
Tony Adams has been a controversial figure in recent weeks. He's been sent off, accused of provoking spectators, and was involved in a mass brawl on the pitch. All that did little for his career, now an episode that has deprived him of his freedom. The accident happened last May in a residential street in Essex. He went through a garden wall after losing control of his car at over 70 miles an hour. He was 3 times over the drink drive limit. The sentence has shocked his family.
Didn't expect any sentence whatsoever. Suspended, possibly, because that goes with the charge. But no way. The character of the boy in itself is just a complete shock.
Unless there's a successful appeal, Adams will spend most of the next 4 months in Ford Open Prison in Sussex. He was fined £2,000 by Arsenal immediately after his arrest, and today the club had no further comment except to reassure him that he does have a future at Highbury. But his career's international prospects are now extremely dim. Once regarded as a potential future England captain, he'll need all of his determination to even get back in the side.